Hello everyone and welcome! This is Empyrion Galactic Survival. I'm Enigmius and today we're starting a brand new series. This one's going to be running alongside Space Engineers. We're not getting rid of Space Engineers. We're going to be doing both of them because a little bit of diversity is good. It helps to keep the interest up. We're about to land on this Earth-similar planet in our landing pod, which can turn left and right and down, but we can't pitch up because it's just an escape pod. It's not meant for commercial flights. There's a tutorial that we're going to follow so that we can kind of get a good foundation in how the game works, both for myself and for the people who are watching. And we're going to try, for this episode, to hit level 3 so that we can unlock an assault rifle and make an assault rifle and some ammunition. And then going into the next episode, we'll be ready to start gathering resources and building our first base. Right now, we're just raiding the contents of the escape pod. The escape pod will be disappearing shortly. We don't need to wait around for that to happen. What we can do is run down here and find a suitable spot to place our survival constructor, which is kind of a neat little thing. It's like a crafting table. It's a machine that's necessary in order to craft things. And the thing about it that makes it interesting is it doesn't require any power. It's not very fast, and it can't make many things, but for processing ore and things of that nature, it's a good little thing to have around. So we're going to be placing it near where we're going to be building our base, and this looks like a pretty decent spot to me. We're going to have to place something in the water very shortly, so I want to have the constructor near that. The whole idea is to have things as close to one another as possible to reduce the necessity of having to move around and go over here and do this and then go over there and do that. I kind of like to group things together as best we can. We're just going to put some basic tools on our hotbar. We've got ammunition and power packs for those tools. We've got that guy, which we're going to be placing next. Alright, so here's the constructor. I'm going to put it up on the beach a little bit. Add crafting materials. Add fuel pack templates and start production. Okay, so here are crafting materials. We've got some ingots. We've got some magnesium powder, some promethium pellets. Filtered water is a crafting thing. This is actually oxygen that we can use to oh, speaking of which, before we forget, we take off our helmet so we don't use up all of our oxygen, because this planet has oxygen, much to our delight. And we want that there because that's flashlight. And there's a trend in games, survival games, to make nighttime as black as possible. And I understand it. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but we would like to be able to offset that to some extent. There's a chainsaw that we want to put there. And I shouldn't be spending this much time goofing around with my damn inventory. We're going to make a few of these because we're going to use them. And then we just have to turn it on. And you can see it's got the little thing that goes around. When it gets all the way around, that one is done, and then it moves on to the next one. You can queue up a fair number of things. Place O2 generator and power O2 generator. This is the O2 generator that we have to place in the water. It doesn't have to be deep in the water. It just has to be far enough in the water that it's partially submerged. And now we have to power it, which requires putting one of these things in there. The thing is, it's an O2 generator, and the tutorial, it's very smart to teach you how to place it and get it working early, because if you're on a planet that did not have oxygen in the atmosphere, that would be kind of a concern, is getting that set up right away. In our case, it's not. We just set it up because the tutorial wanted us to. And now we're just going to kind of leave it alone. It's going to produce a few oxygen tanks. And we're going to draw our weapon. And we're going to head out here, and it wants us to find some edible plants. And some medical plants. Oh, look at this guy, the Triceratops. Oh, there's another one too. I've killed one of these before. It's not especially difficult to kill with an assault rifle. And they provide a ton of meat. It's ludicrous, the amount of meat that you get out of a Triceratops. I say that, but at the same time, after I finished eating all the meat, I thought, wow, that's all you get out of a Triceratops? I guess it kind of depends on what side of the equation you're on. Now here's the aloe plant. The medicinal plants requirement has been met, and now we have to consume an item. We're just, look at all these plants kicking around out here. I don't want to waste a ton of time because we do have a very specific goal. But harvesting plants does provide us with a bit of experience. And so we're going to be leaning on that fairly heavily. That slime is making some gurgling noises. Where is he? I heard him. Can't see him. There are a lot of enemies in this game that are passive. You can wander around them and they don't seem to mind. And then there are some that are not at all passive who will quite happily smack you around in the face if given the opportunity. So the slimes are of the passive variety. Triceratops, I believe, are as well. These smaller dinosaurs are passive, but the woodmen and the Talon Guardians, they don't really have a lot of love for you. Okay, I need to consume something to satisfy this tutorial thing. Now, kill an animal and loot an animal. That's... damn it. I don't... I'm sure we can find smaller dinosaurs. I don't want to go after a Triceratops with a Desert Eagle. There's one of the slimes that was making noise before. And they actually roam pretty far. They just kind of go all over the damn place. They got a big red eye. Like the Eye of Sauron. Pretty peaceful guys. I haven't actually killed one because I'm terrified that I'm going to shoot one and find out that because it's a slime, it's like immune to bullets or something. The bullets just pass right through them and they don't care. And then they would melt your face off. Here we go. Here's a smaller dino. And he's got a couple of pals over there, but we only need one. And we gotta chase after him. Reload our gun. Oh, we found an iron deposit. That's excellent. So we killed an animal, we looted an animal. We're making sure that nobody's looking at us funny. The woods, areas like this, are the dangerous spots for me right now because the woodmen and the Talon Guardians like to wander around in them. And you'll be fine, and then all of a sudden someone's beating the crap out of you. It's not a good scene, especially this early in the game when we haven't had a chance to set a specific respawn location. The best we would get is, I think, plunked near our constructor with nothing to defend ourselves, to feed ourselves. Terrifying proposition. Yeah, what the hell is that? Iron deposit, 180 meters that way. Now that is convenient. We'll be making heavy use of that. Here's our base. Now we have to cook a steak or a salami. So if you go to the food, you can make grilled steak or you can make salami. The difference between the two in terms of its benefit is that the salami lasts a lot longer but returns half as much stamina as the steak. But they both give the same amount of food and restore the same amount of health. So, for our first meal on this planet, or set of meals, we're going to make a trifecta of salamis. And then we're going to go like that. Now you can actually use these for storage in a pinch if your inventory is getting full, and that's the thing that you want to do, is bulk up on storage. Wow, craft assault rifle already. We're kicking ass. But first, let's take a look. We are overall... Wow, we're already level 3. I didn't even notice that part. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go weapons. Assault rifle. Unlock. Look at all the different things we get. Miniguns, pulse rifle, laser rifle. 2 tiers of sniper rifles. I'm very much interested in that. All kinds of stuff. Laser pistols, rocket launchers, plasma cannons. There's personal turrets, which I'm assuming, because I haven't had a chance to make one and play around, that it's something you can carry around with you and then just spot on the ground to protect you. And then there's also large-scale turrets that you can put on top of structures and on ships and stuff. which are kind of neat and kind of fun. So we've got some salami, and we're supposed to make a assault rifle. So let's see what we need to make an assault rifle. It's not much. There's the assault rifle. We need 5 metal components and 1 electronics. So we go here to the gears. We need 5 of these. So for each cycle with these guys, you see it says order count there. It says craft time in seconds and then order count. Or output count, sorry. That's how many you make every time it finishes this cycle. So we queued up 10, and that'll bring us to 20 metal components. And then electronics, we're going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually, we're going to need it, so might as well. There's no point being stingy. And then while we're at it, we might as well craft some cables. Actually, we shouldn't have done that. We should have gone here and said, "Dear Mr. Assault Rifle, please be made." And then we also want some ammunition for it. Metal pieces and magnesium powder. We've got the magnesium powder here. Metal pieces are these guys. And you use 5 ingots makes 10. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to make 50. And I think that'll last us long enough that we can say that's good for now. And then we can go back here once more and pick the 5.8 millimeter bullets. And we're going to do 8, which will be a total of 200 rounds, which is not a bad way to start. Now, since we are so far ahead of the game, we have 6 minutes left until nighttime. We're going to head on over here and do some digging with the drill, which is kind of a fun thing. I think that's the drill. It's like an energy drill. As down we go. I've yet to get the hang of this to such an extent where I can just build like a nice smooth slope down to wherever we need to be to start grabbing the materials that we're after. Here we go. But overall, we're not doing too bad. This is crushed stone, which we can use. See, look at the hole that we made. It's not at all a sloping tunnel down to the iron. But that's okay. Iron deposit, 20 meters that away. How big is this iron deposit? It's actually fairly large too, relative to the ones that I've been seeing. So that's good, because it means once we've found it and got a tunnel leading up to it, there's going to be quite a lot of materials for us to extract without having to worry about finding a new iron deposit. And that's good. So far, I'm not getting a whole lot out of this. I think this is iron here. Or is that just more rock? I don't know. Find out soon enough. The concern here is that we have a limited amount of power to run our drill, and if we run out of power to run our drill and we aren't actually getting anything out of it, it's kind of a yucky situation. But here's iron. There we go. Iron ore, more crushed stone, but primarily iron ore. That means we're in the neighborhood where we need to be to get the things for the stuff that we're going to be needing. I'm thinking actually of building a fair bit of my base out of wood. We'll see about that. I don't know. Space games and buildings out of wood just don't always work for me in the noggin sometimes, but I was just glancing at the wood and stuff, and it's easy to find wood. It's trees. And you get a lot of planks out of logs that you cut up, so I might take a look at it. The whole idea is we want to make sure that the really important machines in our base are as well protected as we can make them, and the other structural elements not so important. We also want to get a garden set up as soon as possible, because that's going to help us a lot with keeping on top of our food and medicine and all those other different things. See, there is no sloping route to this area, but we have found the iron. I am satisfied that we've got enough iron to get us through the next several parts of the tutorial. Oh, hey, come back here. I accidentally dropped that. We do have a jetpack, It has an interesting system where it basically it has a limited amount of fuel and it recharges. So you can fly for a certain amount of time and then you have to land. You can run only when jetpack is off. So we're going to turn it off. And now we're going to head back to our base. And we should be pretty close to having an assault rifle. Yes, just as I say that, we get the notification. Alright, so we've got an assault rifle. We're going to put that here. We're going to put that there. We're going to put the drill back on the hotbar after we covered it because we dropped it. We're going to put... We didn't get a lot of iron, but we did get some iron, and I'm pretty happy about that because it's a good thing to have. Oh, hey, look, we've got more meat. Give me a steak this time. Yes, we'll take a steak. So it takes a little while to make the bullets. I for some reason, I remembered them being faster than they are. They're not. They're a little bit slow to craft, but we're going to leave that going. One thing that we can do is we're going to put this core here, and we're going to make a base starter block out of this core block. You can make these core blocks, and then from there you make all the different kinds of starter blocks for... You can take a look at that very briefly. There's different ship classes, and one of the ways to kind of see is there's the capital vessel, and then of course we've got the base, and we've got small vessel, hover vessel, and you can make miscellaneous stuff, tools, and weapons. So I mean, there's lots of things to unlock, lots of things to build, and wait until you see the options that we have in terms of the blocks that we can build with. It's pretty crazy. I need that steak now. I'm afraid this steak is going to go bad if I forget about it. Oh, hey, we better put that in there or it's not going to make the steak at all. So some of these are things that you can eat. Some of them are curative, like this one here is effective against poisonous bite, but also restores 60 health and doesn't last very long. Other things like sugarcane last forever. Sugarcane fiber, the aloe vera perishes over time. Pixie stalk bundle is perishable. We just looked at that. And then we've got all these different sprouts here that we can actually plant. So in this case, I don't mind necessarily if some of these things go bad, because you have actually a spoiled food item that you get when they do go bad, and it's used for making nutrients for your garden. And growing blocks for your garden, more importantly. So that's not necessarily the worst thing that you can have happen is for plants to go bad on you. Now what we can do, we've got 175 of these. It's making the last one. We can put this in our inventory, and that's a good spot for it. And then we select the assault rifle, and we reload it so that if we ever need it, it's ready to go. Now one of the things that I like about this is that it's... Hey, it worked properly that time. It's got a scope on it. Oh, now it's doing that. I don't know what to do with the scope bit. Jeez. The scope. Yes, there we go. And it's got a bit of a zoom as well. So it's not really a proper sniper weapon, but it's heading in that direction. And it's a hell of a lot better than the pistol. So that's kind of a good thing too. So, oh hey, the next task... I think this will be the last task for the day because I'm starting to lose my mind. Is we want... Damn it. The task for the next tutorial thing is to... you're supposed to learn how to mine. So you go mine and then you produce ore and then you pick up that ore. But we've already done that, so we're going to drop it. And then we're going to pick it up again. And that's... that's all it takes. This is the base starter that it's talking about. So I've placed these two guys here. If you try to move this guy, oddly enough with this game, you're not allowed to just pick things up. You can't dismantle them like you can in a lot of other games. It's not set up for that. You have to unlock and then build a tool that lets you remove and replace items. That's its specific name, is remove and replace tool. If you remove this guy, it breaks it down into the components and you can never rebuild it. So this guy has to stay here, as far as I know, for all time. And then we're going to keep them for processing all of our ores and stuff, even after we've got a better constructor in our base. But speaking of bases, we're going to start building this, I think, so that it spreads out over the water. That, to me, sounds like a fantastic idea. Because then we should really only ever have to defend it from 2 or 3 sides at any one time, except for the flying drones that get dispatched usually sometime after you make an assault rifle. I think that's about as close as we're going to get. So now we can make metal blocks, concrete blocks, wood blocks, all kinds of different blocks, and we can start building this out. That's what we'll do in the next episode. We'll build this out a little bit. We'll try and get our garden started. You can see it's prompting me to build some equipment and place it in our base. We'll do that. Everything will start to take shape once we're established and we're able to look after our needs and defend ourselves. That's when we start building ships and kind of expanding how far out we can go safely without getting killed or running out of resources. If you have any feedback about the series, by all means, leave it below. If you want to be notified about future videos in this series or other series, as always, you can subscribe to my channel or follow me on social media. Links for social media are in the information box below the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.